Imagine an attacker has 1,000 arrows. You have 10. But your 10 arrows are made of solid gold, guided by lasers, and guaranteed to hit. In a vacuum, you win. But in the reality of modern combat, you are about to lose very, very slowly. Welcome to our channel. Today, we are investigating the defining nightmare of 21st century warfare, the economics of attrition. It is a tactical reality where a $100 drone can defeat $1 million missile grid, and you are witnessing it happen right now. To understand the defense, we must first understand the nightmare. You see, the current doctrine of offense has shifted away from monolithic, expensive missiles toward saturation. This is the strategy of the swarm. It relies on two components: volume and cost. The attacker doesn't need a sophisticated, stealthy missile if they can overwhelm your radar with 500 slow, noisy, loitering munitions that cost less than your car. But the true horror of saturation attack isn't just a slow swarm. It's when the swarm is mixed with the spear. At the exact moment your radar is saturated with cheap drones, the attacker fires a salvo of heavy, complex ballistic missiles. These missiles are built for sheer kinetic devastation. They fly higher, faster, and hit harder, arriving at hypersonic speeds from the edge of space. For a human defense operator, this isn't just a combat scenario. It is a mathematical impossibility. Who do you shoot at? Which leads us to the grim math of modern warfare. If an enemy can fire a drone swarm and ballistic mix that costs him $5 million to assemble, and you are forced to counter it with a missile battery where each single interceptor costs $3 million, you might win the battle. But your nation will go bankrupt before your enemy runs out of cheap plastic. Which brings us to the crucial mystery of modern battlefield. If defense is a mathematical trap, how do you build a shield that doesn't bankrupt the country it's protecting? The answer: trades missiles for megawatts. And we are diving into that solution right now. When you are outnumbered 100 to 1, you cannot afford to miss. But more importantly, you cannot afford to shoot at something that does not matter. This is the foundational logic behind the world's most advanced counter-rocket, artillery, and mortar systems, often referred to as CRAM or smart shields. These systems don't just fire back blindly. They are anchored by a battle management center, an AI brain that tracks every incoming threat simultaneously. In fractions of a second, the system calculates the exact ballistic trajectory of a piece of incoming metal. If the computer determines a rocket is going to land in an empty field or the ocean, it simply ignores it. It lets the weapon fall. It only fires a multi-million-dollar interceptor if a populated area or critical infrastructure is directly threatened. It is a brilliant feat of engineering. But it still has a fatal flaw. Even the smartest defense battery in the world only holds so many missiles. When the tubes are empty, the shield drops. You have to reload. And needless to say, reloading takes time. Time you don't have when the sky is falling. And so, to permanently fix the economics of attrition, militaries are quietly pivoting to direct energy weapons. In other words, lasers. You see, firing a 100 kilowatt high-energy laser costs about $2 per shot. It travels at the actual speed of light, making it impossible to dodge. And best of all, as long as the generator has diesel fuel, it never runs out of ammo. These systems are currently being rolled out to burn drones out of the sky for pennies on the dollar, finally flipping the economic math back in favor of the defender. But a shield, no matter how cheap it is to operate, is still just a shield. It only buys you time. Eventually, if you want the barrage to stop, you have to neutralize the archer, not just the arrows. But how do you hunt mobile missile launchers hidden deep inside hostile, radar-heavy territory without getting shot down yourself? Well, you send a ghost. Now, forget everything Hollywood has taught you about modern fighter jets. The era of dogfight is largely over. When you look at the fifth-generation fighter, you are not looking at an airplane. You are looking at a flying, invisible supercomputer. And to hunt the mobile launcher firing those ballistic missiles, you have to bypass the enemy's own advanced air defense. And that's where the 5th-generation jets come in. They achieve this through radar-evading geometry and specialized radar-absorbent coatings. To an enemy radar operator, an $80 million jet fully loaded with munitions appears no larger than a golf ball on their screen. By the time they realize it's there, it's already too late. But their true weapon is something called sensor fusion. These jets act as forward observers. They can penetrate hostile airspace completely undetected, use their advanced sensors to locate mobile missile launchers hiding in valleys or forests, and instantly beam those exact GPS coordinates back to naval destroyers or Allied ground artillery miles away. They don't even have to drop their own bombs. They simply act as the eyes of the entire military network, finding the archer and orchestrating its destruction from the stratosphere. This is the grim, complex ecosystem of modern combat. The cheap, relentless swarm forces the defender to spend millions. The smart shield and the laser grid try to balance the checkbook. And the invisible ghosts in the sky slip behind enemy lines to shut the entire operation down. It is a deadly game of chess, played at hypersonic speeds, where the cost of losing is total devastation. Thank you for joining the debrief. If you want to understand the classified engineering and strategic breakthroughs shaping tomorrow's conflicts, subscribe to our channel.